Hey everyone, this is Brian Davidson. I am reading the Bible, and right now we are talking about the death of Jesus. On Easter, we celebrate his resurrection, him, him, his return, his coming back. But now we're going to look specifically at his death. Now, it's one of those things where we're looking toward, as Christians, we're looking towards the future victory over death. But, uh, but this is an important part of that. So let's take a look at this. It's in John chapter 19, verses 28 through 37. The death of Jesus. Later, knowing that everything had been finished, and so the scripture would be fulfilled, Jesus said, I am thirsty. A jar of wine vinegar was there, so they soaked a sponge and put the sponge on the stalk of a hyssop plant and lifted it to Jesus' lips. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, It is finished. With that, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. Now, it was the day of preparation, and the next day was to be a special Sabbath day. Because the Jewish leaders did not want the bodies left on the cross during the Sabbath, they asked Pilate to have the legs broken and the bodies taken down. The soldiers therefore came and broke the legs of the first man who had been crucified with Jesus and those of the other. But when they came to Jesus, they found that he was already dead. They did not break his legs. Okay, so one of the reasons why they would break their legs is because they would use their legs to kind of support themselves, kind of push themselves up. Because a lot of people would die of suffocation. Well, it looks like Jesus died before the two thieves that were hanging on the cross. So the priest said, go break their legs, so you can end them right there. And that's what they did with the two thieves. But with Jesus, they didn't have to break his legs. Instead, the soldiers pierced Jesus' side with a spear, bringing a sudden flow of blood and water. That's how they knew he was dead. The separation of blood and water. The man who saw it, the man who saw it has given testimony, and his testimony is true. He knows that he tells the truth, and he testifies so that you also may believe. These things happened so that the scripture would be fulfilled. Not one of his bones will be broken. And as another scripture says, they will look on the one they have pierced. Okay, so there we have Jesus' death. He said it was finished, and then passed. So with that, he left before the two men who were crucified beside him, and now the disciples are in an awkward place where they're waiting for him to rise again. And that waiting is a really, really hard part. It's awkward. They're mourning Christ's death. They're mourning him as a teacher. They're mourning him as a Messiah. But there's also a lot of confusion because they didn't know whether what the future was going to be, what it was going to hold for them. They didn't have a full picture of what was going on. And I think that's pretty reasonable, especially when we are often thinking in very, very earthly ways. We don't know what God has around the corner for us. We don't know what that's going to look like. And we can pray that it will be wonderful, but we have to also trust that God is going to bring us where he wants us to be in these times that are awkward and times that we don't really understand a variety of goings on. Well, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow where we're going to talk a little bit, I believe, about the burial. And until then, take care. And if you're building up a habit of reading the Bible, you can order a Bible at one of these links below. Check those out. Those are specifically for Amazon America. So if you're in America, you can order a print Bible or get a nice study Bible for your Kindle. Check out those links below. Everywhere else in the world, please check out the Bible Gateway link. I use Bible Gateway on my Kindle, and it's a great tool. It really is. So many translations, many languages. You could do a lot of comparison between different translations, see which translation is better for you. But yeah, those are available for you, and please take care. God bless, and rest well, and stay inside. Things are pretty dangerous.